Hello there, dear friends. Today I want to share a very simple yet incredibly effective secret for lush blooming that my grandmother passed down to me. If you want your plants to be healthy, vibrant green, and bloom so abundantly that the blossoms completely hide the leaves, then this recipe is for you. I'll be using pelargoniums as an example, but this method is a true elixir of life for absolutely all indoor flowers. This secret is something I brought back from my childhood in Ohio. My grandmother, Mrs. Gale, lived on an old farmhouse estate, and her porch was always lined with pots of geraniums. These flowers didn't just grow, they literally exploded with clusters of bright red and pink blossoms. Neighbors often asked her how much money she spent on fertilizers, and she would just chuckle, adjusting her glasses. Grandma never bought expensive chemicals in flashy bottles. She knew that the most valuable things for plants are already waiting for you in the kitchen cupboard. And today, I'm going to teach you how to prepare those two natural formulas that turned her windowsills into a blooming garden. Grandma always called the geranium a lady with an appetite. To keep it constantly producing new buds and delighting you with lush greenery, it needs energy, but not that aggressive chemical stuff that forces a plant to give everything at once and then quickly die off, but a gentle, natural boost. And that's where ordinary starch stepped onto the stage. She would take a regular small spoon, the kind we use to stir our morning coffee, and pull a jar of ordinary potato or cornstarch from the shelf. You might wonder what's so special about it, but Grandma explained it simply. Starch is concentrated life. It hides polysaccharides and amino acids that act as a gentle growth stimulant. It makes the leaves not just green, but a deep, rich emerald color, as if they've just been washed by a morning rain. But starch on its own is only half the battle. Grandma always added a drop of sunshine to it, a spoonful of natural honey. In Ohio, we always had fresh harvest in June, and by winter, it would often crystallize, turning into a thick mass. If your honey has hardened too, don't worry. Grandma would just take that piece of liquid gold and soften it in her warm palms. From the heat of her hands, the honey would come alive, becoming fluid and releasing its power into the water much faster. She believed honey was the best antibiotic and vitamin complex for roots. If honey wasn't on hand, she didn't make a tragedy of it and used regular sugar. The main thing here is to give the plant glucose. The entire preparation process felt like a cozy ritual. Into a quart of warm water, about the temperature you'd use to bathe a baby, around 95 degrees, she would add a spoonful of starch and a spoonful of honey. She mixed it slowly, saying that flowers can feel the love they are fed with. She watered her plants with this solution once every 2 weeks. If a particular geranium looked especially sad, with yellowing leaf edges, she would switch to a weekly schedule, but she always strictly followed one rule. The soil in the pot had to have time to dry out. A sick plant is like a person with a cold. It needs warmth and moderation, not a swamp beneath its feet. While the first recipe was about nutrition, the second is about protection and health. My grandmother was convinced that a plant should not only be fed, but also protected from all those invisible enemies that live in the soil or fly around the house. Her second secret weapon was a common bay leaf, the very same one we put in soup for aroma. Bay is a treasure trove of essential oils, vitamins, and most importantly, silica. Grandma would take 2 or 3 leaves. If they were small, 3. If they were large, 2 were enough, and steep them in a cup of boiling water. She would let this tea sit for about half an hour. It was important to wait until the water cooled down enough so you could comfortably dip a finger in. During this time, the bay leaf released its characteristic scent and those substances that pests simply cannot stand. But that wasn't the end of it. As the bay infusion cooled, she would add half a teaspoon of regular ground cinnamon. Have you ever noticed how a flower shop smells? It often smells like freshness and a little bit like earth, but Grandma's porch smelled like cinnamon. Cinnamon is a powerful natural antiseptic. It doesn't just help the plant look fresh, it literally sweeps all the harmful microflora out of the pot. Once the infusion was ready, she would dilute those aromatic 7 ounces with clean water, bringing the total volume up to a full quart. She didn't just water the roots with this, she also misted the leaves. If pesky gnats or fungus gnats, those annoying creatures that fly out of pots, showed up in the house, the cinnamon and bay leaf combo handled them better than any spray. She used to say that even worm larvae that sometimes get into the soil couldn't stand the neighborhood. After a shower like that, the geraniums would practically straighten their shoulders. The leaves became glossy, and the gnats disappeared after just the second application. You know, I often hear from my friends, why did my geranium drop all its flowers even though I did everything by the book? Grandma Gale knew the answer to that, too. She always taught me to watch a plant like a living being. When a pelargonium starts to bloom, it pours almost all of its strength into the process, at least 70%, no less. This is its moment in the spotlight, its triumph, and at this point it becomes extremely sensitive to moisture. While a geranium might normally forgive our forgetfulness or a bit of dry soil, that's a total no-go during flowering. Grandma used to say, if you don't give her a drink while she's working on those flowers, she'll think a drought has hit, get scared, and the first thing she'll do is drop her most precious cargo, her buds. That's why her golden rule during blooming was water a little but often. The soil should always stay slightly damp, like an Ohio morning mist. It was during this period that she was especially diligent with her homemade boosters. Blooming is a marathon, and the plant needs energy bars in the form of starch and honey water. You've probably noticed that the bottom leaves of geraniums often turn yellow when the bush is in full bloom. That means the plant is pulling the last resources from the old leaves to feed the flowers. Don't let that happen. Give her nourishment from the outside. Today, living in a high-tech world, I often find myself thinking that we overcomplicate things. We look for salvation in complex formulas, forgetting the wisdom that has been gathered over generations. My grandmother from Ohio wasn't a research botanist, but she felt the rhythm of nature. Her geraniums didn't just grow, they lived, they breathed, and they told stories about how beauty doesn't necessarily have to cost a fortune. These two simple remedies, starch with honey for strength and bay leaf with cinnamon for health, are more than just recipes. They are a way to connect with your green companions. When you prepare this infusion yourself, smell the cinnamon and test the water temperature with your finger. You're pouring in your care. And plants, believe me from my experience, feel that better than any chemicals. Give this method a try. Start small. Set aside one evening every 2 weeks, brew some bay leaves, and get out that jar of honey. Watch how your pelargoniums transform in a month. You'll see them grow stronger, the foliage will deepen in color, and the blooming will become so abundant that you won't even see the leaves. And maybe, someday, you'll be telling someone else about the old school secrets that make a house truly feel like a home. By the way, if you notice the gnats on your windowsill getting restless after the first cinnamon watering, don't worry, that means the remedy is working. Just keep going on your journey toward the perfect garden. And if you have questions about how to properly prep your plants for the changing seasons or how to prune a geranium so it doesn't get leggy, I'd be happy to share that knowledge too. After all, there's nothing sweeter than seeing a little miracle bloom in someone's home, right? My dear friends, do you have an interesting secret hiding in your kitchen cabinet that your plants just love? Write in the comments. If you liked my video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support is very important to me. Thank you for watching and see you soon in new videos.